This is just a game. The secret to it, right? What is the secret?
Yeah.
I can go into that one, but I can also say, I don't know.
How come you don't know? You should.
Yeah,
You should know.
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
want to fight on that, but they cannot
Yeah.
go on with that forever. If I'm like, I don't know, man. And what
Yeah.
if there's something here that you cannot figure out,
Yeah.
right? Because I've been trying to, man. I've been trying to for many years to figure it all out. And the sense is, and I don't even know this, right? It's just, I'm just saying words, but that could go on and on and on. Because if it's in the future, and if there's no future and past here now, and we can only access it by the thoughts, and the thoughts are just made up, then why go into all of that?
Yeah. Choosing to take action out of freedom. That really. Yeah. That teared me up. Yeah.
You're so much more free than you think, brother. And I mean that very literally. Because
Yeah.
you see, it's to think is so much more free than you think. Because the thinking is can be so not free, right? It can be so caged. I hear someone, and there the ghost is. Hey
Ooh.
man, nice.
Hello.
We're both quite quite fancy here. Nice
Chic.
man.
Yeah. Chic de friemel, as we say
Chic
in Dutch.
primo, as we
Chic de
say.
friemel.
Nice
Yeah.
man. Uh,
Yeah.
it's been a long time, brother. It's been a long time.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Feeling exhausted,
Hmm.
and yeah, lots of shame all the time for wanting to hide. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have my curtains always closed, and like, oh, yeah. The municipality cut away the bushes, so it was a
Ah.
big road. So okay, hello, yeah, good morning.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can
yeah,
imagine that you close the curtains then. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, someone as an introduction, someone also recommended me a book. It was called uh, "Too Good to Leave," or no, too yeah, too good to leave, too bad to stay. Uh, Somewhat like
Wow.
that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love the cover name. Wow.
it's yeah about relationships, so romantic relationships. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's and somewhat somewhat describing the situation I'm experiencing. Yeah, and then also not having clear like how bad is it to stay or is it's actually good, right? And what's so bad and not tuning into anymore like really what's the good sides for me, the bad sides, and for my partner like I want to be for there for her.
Yeah.
give I give everything with all my devotion, with
Hmm.
all my love for her, and yeah
Yeah.
we don't really have a relationship yet, but it looks on the surface it looks like we already are
Have.
in a relationship,
Yeah.
but yeah, and that's a totally different life for me because I never had a relationship before,
Oh wow.
so it's different than the single life. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's all that's new for me, and all the ideas about it from me, from her, the judgments around it,
Mm.
and that's really conflicting with me, with my how I see my present and my future.
Yeah.
Even though the your method is also Like there's no really sense of time, and there's only the present. And yeah, we actually already are enlightened. Like, okay, um, in the direct experience, we all already are. Yeah. So even last night, I was having so much stomach pain and sadness, and then suddenly I got an idea like, hey, wow, I want to make a movie about, yeah, showing my ideal world with, yeah, using humor and spirituality to make short sketches like how is the current world looking and how would an enlightened world look in the same situations, like just day-to-day situations,
Oh,
for
wow.
example. Yeah, in a store, in the train, or wherever you are.
Yeah.
That popped
Wow.
up, and then I felt so much expansion. Like I felt, whoa, feeling like coming home again in myself. Like, whoa, feeling in my bed, like uplifted. Like, whoa, yeah, this is what I want to. And then you wake up the next morning. Yeah, you have to go to work. Like, oh yeah, yeah, it
Oh,
was a nice
shit.
idea, but yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
work.
well, how
Uh,
then? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Will people understand it, or will it just be too much my
hmm,
philosophical, my yeah.
hmm, hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, what a vision. Oh. And by the way, do you feel complete in your share?
Yeah.
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 Check, check, check. Um, feel very grateful to sit here with you. I love to do this, and especially also, after all our connection and the things we've experienced, I just love to give this, right? And you also know that, everything I did, my method, so to say, right? It doesn't make any sense anymore. So, even though it helped people, yet, yeah, the only thing that really makes sense is to just ask these questions. And but beside that, right, with your share here, I can so imagine, and I cannot even really imagine, right, because I'm not in you, right, in your experience, that being challenging. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's also a bit based on the things I've heard from you, right? So maybe also beside um, this what you're sharing right now, that just take that with me. So yeah, there's the absolute and there's a relative, right? And in the relative, there can be problems, can be messy, can be challenging, can be whatever. Um, I'm also experiencing that, and there are many moments that I also don't know, like how further I don't know. And yet there is a lightness in the I don't know. Even though it may not have a practical
Wow.
solution yet for the problem in the practical sense, there is a lightness. And that makes even the problems and the challenges more doable and more easy even though it may not be um, nice, so to
Yeah.
say.
The human condition. Yeah. Human experience. Yeah. Hmm.
Um, it is not meant in any way to suppress anything because that would be a bypass and it could be a spiritual bypass, for example, to suppress anything. Yet there in the spiritual sense, they could also be like, oh, now we have to welcome everything, right? But what if both of that is not needed? What if there just is?
Yeah.
And that makes it so much more easy if you can just from it just is in my experience at least, because I don't even know. I can say I can say so many things here, but I don't know. I don't know, brother. Like don't take anything that I say just for what it presents because it's just a word. It's just a thought coming to words and that's all made up. So the only thing that I can really do here, beside practical things, because in the practical sense, okay, we can talk about things, right? But in the sense of the existential sense, the sense of why am I here, the sense of, but also dealing with with the mental stuff and the emotional and that whole rat race that keeps you going on and on and on, trying to find something in the future. And that could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, as it did with me until, just to be very honest with you, until what was it? Some months ago. Not long. Not long. Not long. And yeah. So yeah, before we fully dive in, is there anything you want to say based on why you're here? Is there anything you want to say based on yeah, why you're here? Yeah, why you booked the session?
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I just feel totally lost and clueless in the not in a positive way, in a freeing way, but in a
Yeah.
yeah distorted way, like constantly ruminating and wanting to do the best for yeah for the woman that I'm with now for a couple of months, and
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced very deep connection with, and
Hmm.
seeing where she came from, and also how inspiring she is in that way, and
Hmm.
then feeling don't want to be an asshole who leaves her and who
Hmm.
chooses to follow his who feels like, no, I'm not ready yet for this. I want to experience more things in life. Um, and feeling like so I'm feeling like lost and then trapped in the situation, or can feel yeah like I want to just do the best for both of us, and I don't want to see her hurt again, because we already seen that a couple of times, and we're still together, and but it feels so yeah strangling for me,
Wow.
combining it with my work, my new job and my new home,
Hmm.
uh and just totally all these new things, uh and I want to find a solution, and to really yeah do the solution from that I'm fully convinced of it again. This is the right solution, and whatever arises from it, yeah I don't want to be you don't want to inflict pain on others, but it can arise, and to to embrace that with love,
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling like this fool, or this
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and also not feeling a coward towards myself, like and the same goes and earlier sessions we had about addiction, like
Yeah.
you're doing stuff that you're actually not agreeing with, but you're still doing it, and
Yeah.
and then you can investigate all these spiritual videos on YouTube, or to soothe
Mm.
your your mind to make it stop and make it, oh yeah, relief again. Then
Hmm.
it just comes back again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even when I'm behind my desk, I'm still thinking about her because I care so much about her
Yeah. Yeah.
and about me, about what's going to happen. And yeah,
Hmm.
so that's why I'm here. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm really, yeah, getting sick of it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The sides, huh? You see, as far as I can see, there's a side of you that's so full of love for her, and it's like it's so tangible. It's so like, yeah, you love her so much, huh? Yeah. Yeah, and I get that, brother. Hmm.
no, I don't want to make that
Yeah.
switch to hating
Yeah.
that she hates me for
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
loving her the way she wants, to the uh,
Yeah.
what her perception is of the fullest and the, yeah, the most committed, the most, yeah, manly. Yeah,
Whatever that means, right?
yeah.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
And then I start to doubt myself. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Get all these, yeah, influences from her. Like, come on, you're not 16 anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah, I want a serious. Yeah. Um, so even though, yeah, having doubts is nothing, has nothing to do with your masculinity or femininity. Like,
Just ideas.
yeah.
Just ideas.
Mhm.
Just thoughts. And what are the thoughts
Thoughts
really?
and,
What
yeah,
are
and
they?
societal ideas
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on all that you've heard, based on the future, based on the past, right?
Mhm.
If you can base it on the future, that would be quite epic. But we tend to prevent some future things that may
Yeah.
happen from happening, right? So we
Yeah.
we we go into the mind ping pong, like
Yeah.
past, future,
Yeah.
past, future, past,
Yeah.
future. Like, yeah. So we do that with the thoughts, right? Because if you cannot access the thoughts, is there a past and or future here?
Oh, only the current sensations that, yeah, may have a starting point earlier in the day or in the weeks before,
Yeah.
and that influence your current state right
Yeah.
now,
But
your
that's just an
physical
idea.
state. That's
Yeah, but
also
but
an
that's just an
idea.
idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I cannot say that it comes from the past, and I cannot say that it doesn't come from the past because I don't know. Because that's just an idea, just a thought. Because if you cannot go into the mind and do the ping pong, and if you're just in the middle, at the net, and just in the middle between past and future, what is here now?
Mhm.
What is here now?
Yeah, the thing that perceives all the thoughts, the feelings, sensations. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can say like, yeah, well, if I don't sleep tonight, stay awake the whole night. Yeah, I'll feel shit tomorrow. Yeah, okay, yeah,
Could be not.
could be.
It's just a thought.
Yeah, it's based on earlier
Yeah.
experiences from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you cannot base it on that, if you're not going into that, right? So what is in between thoughts and no thoughts?
Yeah, nothing nameless, formless. Yeah, the unlived. Yeah,
What is in between nameless and nameful? I don't even know if that's a word, but anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. What's in between mind and no mind? Yeah. It's quite impossible to bring it into words, kind of, right? It's like, how can we, or
Maybe
impossible maybe because this one just blanks out. It's just like,
it's it's the stuff, yeah, when you weren't born yet, and when you pass away, that's just, yeah,
could be,
didn't
but that's also just an
something.
idea.
Yeah, it's an idea.
Because everything we can talk about here is just an idea. It's just a word. It's just a, yet what is in between the words?
Existent but not existent at the same time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with this?
No, also not good already, but if you would
It doesn't feel
pick
good
both
also.
sides, yeah, if you would pick both sides, you would be like, yeah, evenly uh,
Yeah.
judging it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 But that's already like how fast this one comes up like, oh, but then like trying to figure it out, right? And what
yeah,
if there's something here that you cannot figure out,
yeah,
right? Because I've been trying to, man. I've been trying to for many years to figure it all out. And the sense is, and I don't even know this, right? It's just, I'm just saying words, but that could go on and on and on because if it's in the future, and if there's no future and past here now, and we can only access it by the thoughts, and the thoughts are just made up, then why go into all of that? If the thoughts, and in that sense, the future, it is non-existent. It's just we just create it. Without that future, how can there be anxiety? Because that is connected to the future.
yeah. It's anticipation. Yeah,
How can there
anticipation.
be how can there be depression without a past? So
By the way, do you hear my headphones wobbling in your mic,
no, not
in your
really. No,
audio?
the,
No?
the, the, the
Okay,
sound is pretty good. So thanks
okay.
for checking. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, without that, in the in between, what if, and I'm not saying this is true, so don't take my words for it, right? Because I don't even know. And in this not knowing, I've never felt so free in my entire life. I thought I knew, and it was just ego, and later on spiritual ego, which is which can be more difficult and can be more misleading. And oh man, I thought I knew. I thought I knew at least some things. Later on, less and less and less, but at least.
Yeah,
And
it's just really appealing to, yeah, if I figure it all out, then it
yeah,
feels like a safety, like, yeah,
yeah.
and I'll be safe because I
Then I'll be
figured it
safe. Yeah,
already
yeah,
out,
yeah,
what's gonna happen, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But
or
what
what
if
happened.
you
Yeah,
figure this thing out? What do you think happens next? Then there's the next thing
yeah,
that you got to figure out, and the next, and the next, and the next. And before you know, you're just a rat in the rat wheel, going on and on and on and on and on. And what if I just say, like, you can just step from the wheel and be like, why did I do all that? What if it's just a creation of your thoughts because that happened? Because it seems so real, right? What you did yesterday, it seems so real. I know, I like it. Like I have that too. Like it seems so real. Oh, I did that yesterday. And that's why I feel like this now. And I kind of projected this on from there. But we do that also with trauma. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
because this with
yeah,
my dad, right? I kept myself small for a long time because of the things that happened with my dad. And I thought that I was like, you know, that had me hooked because I believed in it. It was so real, but it was just a belief.
yeah,
It was just a thought going back to there and based on that believing that that is real now. But you cannot access the past and the future without the thoughts. So the only thing that's really real now is here. Why project that onto now?
yeah. Because subconsciously you react out of a, yeah, and then we believe that, oh yeah, because then that event happened and that
Yeah,
traumatized me, so now I'm
yeah,
always anxious for,
yeah,
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 new people, certain situations, and
yeah, yeah. And the
because of that,
suffering?
and yeah,
Yeah,
now I have the solution because it's from that, and now
yeah,
I
yeah,
have to do a lot of work to heal this, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh man,
Mhm.
yeah. We have. I've been in that. And the moment that we met, like I was still so full in that the path of healing. Could go on and on and on because there's always something to dig out, right? And it almost seems crazy when I say that, in a sense, that is illusionary. Because how can that be? Because it feels so real, right? It almost seems like a spiritual bypass, right? Yet, in this, between thoughts and no thoughts, there just is. Can be emotion, right? Can be all kinds of sensations. Yet, it can feel so much more light because it doesn't carry the whole past if you don't do the mind ping pong. So then,
Yeah.
then the suffering
Mhm.
comes out of it, right? Yeah.
And the
So what
suffering
is
also ends. You mean the suffering then also stops?
it can be there can be the intensity of emotions, yet it is not the suffering in the way that most adults do. Look at a child, right? It's a children before language mostly, right? Before they learn to speak words. Like it's just there's just something happen. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to do this, right? That stuff. And then there's a whatever. There's a new toy
Yeah,
coming into the room.
yeah,
It's like, oh, this
yeah,
is
yeah,
cool, right? It instantly ends. So it's like experiencing for the fullest
yeah,
life. So it is also in a way intense, but it's not like adults being angry and mad at someone for maybe in an entire life.
mhm, yeah,
Like a child is doesn't do that because doesn't have these concepts about what it should or what right, because we have these ideas of this I can do and this not and this I should do and this I must do in relationship. For example, I've had many of them. This I must in relationship in order to have a good relationship.
yeah.
Just
And if I
believe.
don't do this, then this won't. And if
Yeah,
this happens, then
yeah,
this will stay with me. If I
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Just beliefs. So what is in between a belief and no belief?
experience, give it a name. Yeah,
Give it a name. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And this space and that kind of saying too much, but we got to use some kind of language. This in between beliefs and no beliefs. It's kind of free, huh?
Oh, finally, I don't have to believe something anymore. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
You don't.
yeah. And who are you? Yeah, what are you?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's quite a road if you gotta be someone.
To explain it to people, yeah, I don't believe anything. Huh? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I could say that and I could not in a kind of way because sometimes beliefs come up with me, right? So they come up and it's like, and it's like as if they're glass. Like normally it would have it seemed like it in a kind of way if I would picture it, it would have been a solid rock or whatever, solid. And now it's just transparent. It's like I looked through it and it's like, but just a belief.
oh
It's
yeah,
like, what what is there without those beliefs? Because a belief is just a thought. What is in between thoughts and no thoughts?
yeah. It's just the vision, of seeing, yeah, seeing that you can look through it, or seeing that it's a rock, or just your own perception how
Whatever.
you see it. Yeah.
Yeah. There
And
is
also
something.
some analogy that came up, like you when you talked about digging, like if you would dig into the earth endlessly, at some point your tools will just melt. You cannot dig further.
Yeah.
It's like the earth would say, no, just stop digging, because
Yeah. It's
yeah,
enough.
you get to the core, to the, yeah, the, it will just melt anyway. And it's, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. In this, what is in between this and that? It's quite funny, huh? It's like,
isn't that, yeah.
and in this, between this and that, by lack of better words, is there? We talked about this, right? Is there anything missing? It's like
It's
no.
the song from Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre. Yeah? It's like this and like that and like
It's
this
like
and
this.
like that. Great.
It is. It's like that song. Yeah, yeah, man. And everything that just comes up, all these trains of thoughts, you can just watch them, man. And sometimes you end up with one, I have that too. And then at some point, I'm like, oh, yeah. Ah, uh huh. Whatever. They're practical thoughts and they're thoughts that, the harsh voices, like the critic, right? We talked
Yeah,
about the critic, right? And the inner critic. Um, that stuff, it doesn't serve.
no, it's because the world is also opinion based. Like you gotta have opinions. I feel it, yeah, annoying that why do we need to have so much opinion about everything? And it makes you like you have to stand for something, or otherwise you're just, yeah, who are you then? If you have an opinion about certain things, then you are seen as a more developed person
Hmm.
who, yeah,
Hmm.
who's not neutral just
Hmm.
about everything and oblivious.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I just would wish that we would have less
Yeah.
opinion in every little, yeah,
Yeah.
experience, every little, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
also just my look, yeah, as an observer,
Yeah.
feeling then isolated from,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, look, there's someone laughing about
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
Also, my own protective mechanism to shield
Yeah.
myself from possible opinions.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that whole game that most play. But brother, you don't have to play that game.
no, I want to be in the isness, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And what if there's not even something you have to do for it? What if it's already here,
yeah.
right? And yet you may be like, okay, but I don't experience it. That's
Or I
here,
want to, yeah, be
right?
more part
Because
of what's happening outside of me. I want to get involved, so I have to play also with at the game of opinions and about them to join in to be part of the, yeah, about what's normal or what's, yeah,
honestly, that's just a belief that you have to.
yeah,
You don't.
yeah,
You don't.
exactly,
You
yeah,
you can do anything. Yet that will have in the relative, right, consequences. As in, people may be like, you
yeah,
know, um, it's even it's already a long time ago. I worked as a wedding photographer, and even the last wedding that I was on, and it was already quite some time on, like they said to me, like it, I'm translating it directly from Dutch. It's like you're a rare bird, but not as in rare, but like a crazy bird, something like that, right?
yeah,
You're a crazy bird, but you're good at your work.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people
Heard that one too.
yeah, wanted to yeah, okay, yeah. So, and the thing is, if you take that personal, it can become intense. If you take it all personal, it can become, you can feel all certain things. Yet, is it? So, in this between thoughts and no thoughts, between mind and no mind, let's go. What is in between me and no me? Yeah,
Life, yeah.
yeah. And is there even a you? Is there even?
No, it's been said that it's just a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you cannot locate a you, what's there to take personal?
yeah,
And yet, even though I cannot also locate a me beyond just there's a concept, but I cannot locate it. It's just a bunch of thoughts. That concept, because concepts are just thoughts. Yet sometimes I feel touched by something that happened. It can become intense, or even like it can become heavy. Is better said when I project the past onto it. Everyone that ever said that, or that my dad also said that, or whatever, right? When we don't do the mind ping pong and go back to the past and future and right, there is just the raw emotion, and just the raw emotion is already a difficult word because emotion kind of it's like a name that has some content. It has some kind of emotion, almost implicates that we got to that like there's a kind of heaviness already a little bit on it. And sensation is just, it can be anything, and it can be really nice. It can feel not so nice,
yes,
whatever. Um, and they're just a raw sensations, right? And that can look like sadness or whatever, right? Is way less heavy.
yeah. Even people with Alzheimer's who don't even know anymore who they are or were, they still have the raw emotions and sensations and can be frightened because they don't understand the
Yeah,
world anymore. And
yeah,
that's also
yeah.
heavy.
That is
But
that is heavy.
yeah, they don't know anymore. They know less who they are, their person. They don't know their person anymore. People with Alzheimer.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that. Oh wow, it should be better if we all just had that disease. No,
Hmm.
but then there's less of a me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know so much
I
about
know.
that. Yet,
Would
if
that
there's a
be frightening to you if you would really forget? And because now we have the luxury that we still know
yeah,
with that
yeah,
we make the decision to step out of the red wheel. But what if you would really wake up the next morning and you really don't know anymore who you are in the world or something? Then would that be pleasant or unpleasant? That's already the judgment I'm making. It should be pleasant, or
yeah,
we
yeah.
move away from unpleasant.
Hmm. I don't know,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it will
Yeah.
be.
No, no.
And I can say that with anything because what do I
Yeah.
know? It's just a thought. It's just a belief. It's just a concept. It's just whatever. And it can be nice to talk about things, but it's from this freedom. It has never felt so free to not know. Because before, I was involved. The ego wanted to know. The ego was like, right? Like, I have to know. Because then I can get free. Then I will, whatever. Then
Yeah.
this in the future. Then finally,
Survival. Yeah.
but what if it's here and now? In between past and future? Here, this instant. How does that feel?
Yeah. It feels way lighter. Like I already feel less expend expenditure of energy, less that you just really feel more energized. Like you're less spending less energy figuring things out uh, physically already.
Yeah.
It's
It all kind of,
you
it
already
kind
feel
of,
it physically. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it kind of quietens down, right?
yeah,
Like, becomes more quiet, becomes more easy, peaceful, right? Yeah. And now when there are thoughts coming in, it's just like, oh, irrelevant or relevant. You can choose.
yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. How much does it matter?
That's yeah. What you decide, what others decide. Yeah, and then you can get arguments about it. No, it matters this much. No, this matters this much, and it
Yeah, yeah.
matters more than what you say that matters. Yeah,
Yeah. You, you know the antidote to that? To that whole game, that whole fighting, like what is happening like on the whole, like earthly, like looking at like the most extreme of that is wars,
yeah, yeah.
right? That's but there are also inner wars and in
Mm-hmm.
relationship and whatever, right? But the antidote, okay, this is just a game. The secret to it, right? What is the secret? I can go into that one, but I can also say I don't know.
How come you don't know?
Yeah.
You should know.
Yeah, yeah, they want
Yeah,
to fight on that, but they cannot
yeah.
go on with that forever. If I'm like, I don't know, man. You cannot. You can try to keep on fighting that, but it's just exhausting for one side. For this side that keeps on fighting, because he knows better. So it's like on a pedestal, right? The one they try to both be on a pedestal, like kind
Mhm.
of, right? Because one knows, so that the one who knows is kind of always seems a little bit higher. And but if there's one side like I don't know, that like it's just on this level, right? It's not even doing this. Because that would be placing the other in the pedestal. Oh, you know. Oh, then we go to that game. That's what happens with a lot of teachers, spiritual teachers, right? Like, oh, that one knows. I was on that pedestal, right? But if it's a spiritual teacher or just someone who says, I know, it can even be a scientist or whatever, right? They're also amazing scientists, of course, but I'm just an amazing spiritual teachers, I can imagine. But in the end, everything is just words. So, whatever. But in this one, if one does like, okay, I don't know, then the other can keep on doing this, but it's just it's just tiring. It's just like it maybe this happens, and then we're more equal. Because isn't it the most ontwapenend? Um,
The armoring.
the armoring. Yeah, can you say that in that sentence? Because I only know de-armoring from another in another way. Um, yeah, but isn't it like the most de-armoring thing to do? Like to say like, I don't know, man.
It can be perceived as, yeah,
It can be perceived as, oh, you
oh,
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Can
I don't
be.
know.
But if you just keep on, all right, I don't know, right? Can somebody touch you? They can touch you the body, they can touch, right? You can go into it, it can come into a fight. Could be. But there is something here in this I don't know that cannot be touched. It seems like, and even though that is saying too much, right? Because how can I know that? Yet it feels very free. It feels so free that I'm like, even if I would be in jail, I don't know how it would be. Maybe it would be physically really harsh, yet it could come in the most, if it would come, it would be in the most liberating place as where kind of there's a residence or whatever we talk about, right? In here. As in, if I was there right now, I'm being there from such a different place as before because it's very different to be in a jail trying to search for something than be in a jail and know that it's already here. Beyond knowing, right? It's not a knowing from here because this one cannot figure it out.
Yeah, it's not a place of giving up out of, yeah, losing all hope and just,
Yeah,
but in a sense of giving up, as in surrendering
yeah.
to, yeah,
It's not even
shapeless,
surrendering.
formless, yeah, surrender, yeah,
It's not even because surrendering is also something to do, like a suppressing and surrendering, like just things to do in the
actions,
non-spiritual.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, in the non-spiritual, I was in this one, the suppressing, and in the spiritual, I became into welcome it all, like embrace, surrender, right? But isn't there something here between all the words that I say, between all the blah blah that is coming out of my mouth, because it's just blah blah, that is already free.
yeah, no action needed, no, yeah,
Yet from this, you can choose to go into action, right? But it's not needed in the sense. It may be needed in the practical sense because you want to eat something tonight, right? Because in relationship you feel like, oh, I want to be clear about where I'm at, right? There is a directness. from the here now. There are things happening, and you may feel like I want to react on that. But it's coming from freedom and not from I have to do this. You see the difference?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, oh, almost. Yeah, so from freedom, well, I have to do because then it will be more, yeah,
That the I have to
pleasant
is just a
for,
concept.
yeah, hmm,
The I
yeah,
have to is just a concept, just an idea, just a thought. You don't have to do anything. People can say what they want, and your intern and an internal voice in you may say whatever. Yet, what is in between voices and no voices? And in this, you can make any choice from there. And that can be as much from love as before, right? Yet it may be without the whole chaos in the head, right? What do you feel, brother?
yeah, to, yeah, grief or, yeah, sadness.
Yeah, it's here. Yeah. It's without suppression and it's without having to even welcome it. It's just here. Just a raw emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, choosing to take action out of freedom, that really, yeah, that teared me up. Yeah,
You're so much more free than you think, brother. And I mean that very literally. Because
yeah,
you see, it's to think is so much more free than you think. Because the thinking is can be so not free, right? It can be so caged. Yeah, without that one, it's already free. You're already here, brother. You're here in this between
yeah.
mind and no mind.
It's without the projections and without the,
Yeah.
yeah, the outcomes, the desired outcomes, or the, yeah,
Let's just go into the future, which
yeah,
is with the thoughts, right? Yeah. And from this flow, from this what is here, moving from there is moving from, that's the authentic way, right? There is only authenticity here. And moving from there, making choices from there can be for other people, they can feel all kinds of things, right? It can be that someone feels hurt when you make a choice, when you say yes or no, right? Yet, if that is the flow coming from here,
yeah,
that is what it is. that flow is automatically from love. It is love, and it is not love because it's not just a word, but it seems to be everything, right? This flow.
Yeah, my
This,
spiritual ego would go against it. Like, oh yeah, well, it's because you never had a healthy relationship before, so you
yeah,
don't even know that. So
yeah,
you are pushing it away because you think you don't deserve it, blah blah
yeah,
blah. But maybe this is an explanation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And you see it.
yeah,
Look at the clarity here with you. It's like, oh, that is
yeah,
going on again. All right, my ping pong.
yeah. And then the other side debates. Yeah, but Yarmo, is it really a
Yeah,
good connection like this? And what do you want? No, but then the other voice goes against. That's the ping pong. Yeah,
yeah. So, earlier we talked about, the people that fight with each other about, oh, no, I know, I this and this and this, right? And now that's going on in your head. So like now it's the
yeah,
internal one. And you know what you
yeah,
can do? You can just sit back and,
yeah.
enjoy the show. Or not.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's the suffering thing is that you cannot. It seems that you cannot change the channel because it's the inner. I wanna. I don't enjoy this show. I wanna zap away. Yeah,
what seems to be the experience here, with me also, but also with other people, is that with time, when not like when you see through the illusion of that mind ping pong, that with time it just becomes more quiet and quiet and quiet. And of course, holding on to that one may also tend to make it more
yeah,
difficult. But
dissociating from. Yeah,
could
yeah,
also, but as in to holding on to, oh, now it will become more quiet, right? And then holding on to
yeah.
that one. But I just want to say that because um when there was this poof here with me and I was driving in the car and it was like, whoa, it doesn't make any sense anymore. It all doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just a sense that I give to it. I can choose. And on the utmost level, like on the absolute level, you can say, oh, there's no choosing because there's only this flow. Yet you can choose in the relative sense. Um, and you can also follow just the flow, like whatever. Um, I know people that are just it's like I tend to go a little bit to both. Like it seems kind of like I'm choosing to do these sessions, yet this is the most natural thing to do for me. I've had moments that I did physical work, like my mother needed some help in the cleaning company, and before I was like, no, I don't do that, right? Oh, that box, no. And now all the boxes are gone. I'm like, okay, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
So I helped, physical work, cleaning, and then someone said, hey, I want a session, and I was like done physically, and I did this. I was like, whoa. I said like, okay, let's go for the session, and just vibrant and full of energy. This is like the natural flow for me. Um, and there's also a natural flow for you. And it
So
can be just the following that, because in that there's not even really a you. There's just a flow, and there's just like it can go as automatic as brushing your teeth, right? You don't even think of it.
So it
That,
actually proved to you that the physical work, cleaning work, didn't really exhaust you. That you cannot do the session anymore because that's the idea you had when starting the session. Like, oh, I'm tired. Let's
um,
do it anyway, and then you were vibrant of energy. So that disproved the belief that you might be exhausted
I don't
from
even
the
know what
cleaning.
belief was there. I don't even know what belief was there. Like, she said to me, "You want to clean?" And I was like, "Okay." I did that, and then afterwards I felt tired, And yeah, what was there? I don't even know what was there, but I felt like I'm low in energy because of, just physically. And I was like, why not do the session? Well, just let's just see how
Yeah,
it goes, right? Because there was this idea maybe there's not enough energy to do it or
yeah,
something like
that's
this.
what I meant.
That's
Yeah,
what was more the idea. Yeah, maybe that was what you're pointing to. Um, and then that was just an idea.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all just ideas, man. All of it. In the hat, what people say. It's just like the dude. Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
yeah.
From the Big Lebowski. It's perfect. It's, yeah. So, from this, in between thoughts and no thoughts, from this freedom, you can play with anything. And I don't even have to worry about coming from love or not, or right? Or choosing love. Because, I did my first YouTube video is like about um, choosing fear or choosing love. Yet, even that doesn't make any sense anymore because that's just an idea. Here, it just is. It's just kind of automatic. And sometimes I also got to think about stuff, right? In the practical sense, when I got to calculate something, all that is happening. So, in that sense, the mind is a friend, right? But it comes from a place of freedom. And even that is saying too much. Yet, from this place, we started with the things happening in your life, right? So, from this, yeah, from this here now, and it may even change on the moment. Like you can think about like I'm suggesting about the decision that you have to make,
It's
right?
about my life again. So let's sit. No, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Now
So
I'm gonna sit. Yeah. Now I'm gonna.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fasten
Yeah,
my seatbelt. I'm ready. Yeah.
yeah. We can play with anything.
Yeah.
All these things. Yeah, yeah. So it can be that when you think of this, think of the decision that you feel like, okay, I want to make some kind of decision, right? And it can be that right now there is an answer, and that in the moment that you communicate it is different because the flow is ever changing. And if you, yeah, and then you can also say like, but okay, if you have a partnership, like a business or, in that sense, partnership as in relationship, where what about accountability and what about all of that? Yet, I would rather be with someone who changes every moment, true to this, what is here, which is kind of ever changing, than to someone who's like, you know, um, a loyal, very loyal, like a, very loyal person, always holding on to. That can also become very tiring and can kill a relationship also, right? But these are just
Some
words. I don't know.
some people would immediately associate your explanation with borderline
You could also
behavior.
call that, you could
But
call that borderline, you
yeah,
could call that whatever.
just to already make it into a negative illness kind of reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Yet, if you let's look at the general sense of a relationship, right? You choose, you choose for doing this together, like being in a relationship together or not. But there's
Yeah.
this like, if you do that, you have to do it. Um, Almost like maybe even almost like for eternity, right? And who does that, by the way? If for sure when you're married, like, yeah, right? Even the vows and all that stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
looking at vows. I've never from this looked at vows. It's like, wow. But anyway, yeah, things can
That's
change. Things can change.
vowels. What
Vows, as in
vows? Oh yeah.
what you do. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Vow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The oaths, and that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Things
And
can change. Yeah.
it can be that you're in front of someone who's like, okay, I gotta know this for life. And you could say, you can be as true to yourself or not, right? You can just say like, okay, yes, or you can say no, or you can say, I cannot even say that because I don't even know what the next second will bring, right? So, for example, with me and
Yeah.
Marima, um, you may not know this, but it's not long ago that we split paths in the sense of relationship sense. And there have been many tears. And I know it to be very right that it is time. And I could hold on to whatever, but it doesn't serve to do that. Yet before we split in that sense, um, I was fully in. But I can only be fully in that moment per moment per moment. And if that changes, let her know. There's only now.
Yeah. Some people would call that immediately call that like spiritual gaslighting or oh yeah,
Could
I
be.
want more clarity moment to moment. They want security. They want
Yeah,
to know the answer. Yeah.
yeah. Something to hold
So
on
it
to.
can change. Yeah, something
Something
to
to
hold
hold on
on
to.
to.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, yeah,
that's that's like projecting like from possible future, like I
yeah,
don't even know how to call that. Yeah, finding some kind of security. Yeah, yeah. So right
yeah.
now.
Security and predictability is yeah,
Yeah.
it's very it's yeah. I also crave it in things. We all
Yeah.
have these things. Yeah, this
Hmm.
urge to have that to it's quite normal. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's based on the idea that there's something to lose. And in the relative world, you can say you lose something. Yet, underlining all of this, can you really lose this?
yeah. Lose what? Yeah, lose.
Can you lose this that is in between thoughts and no thoughts?
No, you lose the good feelings that you associate with the romantic relationship. The good feelings going, yeah, going from you to your lover. then it ends and there's tears, and it can even go into hatred, or that's what I don't want.
Mhm.
That's what where I'm afraid of, that it will turn into, yeah, hateful ending.
Yeah.
So I'm, yeah, where am I afraid of? Yeah, that's, yeah, her hurt then hurts me, and then I'm afraid of my own judgment for, yeah, feeling like a fool, and I'm taking it personal and judging myself personally on what is actually an authentic decision. And
And
yeah,
brother, can you do that? These things without the mind ping pong. If you stay in between,
yeah, I
past and
stay in
future.
between for her, for figuring out the best, the, yeah, doubting, okay, shall I do, because
But this
would it
is
be painful?
going back in here
Yeah,
without without going to past and future, which is connected to the things you're saying, because you're talking about doubts that can only be here. Doubts are only here, and if you're here in between, there's just a raw emotion, and in a general sense, based on the experience here and the experience with people around me, it's just the real heaviness is off, brother, because that's created by the mind ping pong. You project that onto the now, and if you're just here, you can see them going, and you're like, okay, not going aboard that train. You see the train, you see through the train.
yeah.
We already talked about this beautifully.
Almost jumping from train to train, two running trains. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you see them going. Whatever you choose, there's always a reaction. And yes, based on that, you can feel all kind of things. Yet these things are so much more easy to feel without this one. And then you may be like, okay, but what to do then, right? You can always ask yourself the question, what is in between thoughts and no thought, right? You're just back here. What is in between mind and no mind? Even in between me and no me, if you take something really personal, right? You cannot even locate you anymore. So that is just a construct taking something personal. And I'm not talking about spiritual bypass because you can feel anything. You can be here with your whole heart, with tears in your eyes, looking someone in the eye in full connection. In that sense, very earthy, right? Yet it's not needed to take personal what it does with the other person, to take that personal yourself when we are
Yeah,
just authentically expressing what is right for you, right? And I
yeah.
also
Is it
know
then
that in
still?
relationship it can be a difficult one to like how to communicate because
Yeah,
and that is like For that, I can only I could recommend Hard IQ. I've learned a lot in connection with relationship, in connection with like heart intelligent communication. That's how they call it. Um, um, and that is in the very practical, earthy sense, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that makes it difficult for me. Yeah, how do I still partake in the relative in the
Yeah,
when communicating from a place of total freedom? Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that seems daunting. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. What I have experienced is that when there's not this chaos, when there's not moving from this chaos, and it's just, in between thoughts and no thoughts, and you can ask yourself this, and then you're here. Then from here, from this flow, there is a clarity beyond words. Like things become more clear how to move, where to move to. And it can be like automatically happening before you even really think of it.
hmm
And oh, still here?
yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. So that may become easier, brother. I was a thoughtaholic. I took a thoughtaholic, so not an alcoholic, but a thoughtaholic,
Yeah,
right? Next shot of thought, next
yeah,
shot, next shot. And when off of that alcohol, thoughtful, whatever we call it, there was also a kind of sobering up from it. It was quite weird
yeah,
in the
yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
right? It's like, okay. It's at one side,
Yeah,
it feels quite radiant and quite wow. And on the other side, it's like, this is strange.
yeah.
That was more of the beginning.
It's a cool T-shirt idea. So, thoughtaholic with the
If you wanna, and then it wouldn't think,
crossing.
but then it becomes the next identity. Now I am
Yeah, yeah,
not Solvaholic anymore.
yeah.
I'm going to wear this.
Over. Yeah.
It can become the next thing, and then it's chasing that next thing. It's just now I'm going to live like this, right? But you don't even have to have that goal. You don't even have to have any goals because that's just a belief. Isn't that crazy? Not any goals. And there'd be people watching like, we gotta have some goals. No goals. Yeah. And it's not that I have no, like, just in the talk that I had before this one, um, maybe quite weird for people if they watch it because I don't know which one I post first. So it may not be the one posted before this one. Maybe say this. Um, we talked about because you said like, but don't you have goals? And what we came on to, like the recap of that, is like there is an intention to do something. Yet, if it the result, I'm not focused on the result in that sense so much. even with this, right? I'm here to help where I can, even though this is just blah blah and I don't even know. So don't just take my words for it. But what I can do here is point to that between the words because you're already free. It's a freedom from where I'm here. And there's no difference in between us. Like it's here with you now. Like we're not different
Yeah,
in that sense, right?
you decide for yourself what you see as a goal, and yeah, everything can be a goal achieved, or yeah,
You
achievement
decide.
is an idea. Yeah,
But the thing is, if you hold on to that needs to happen,
yeah, I
then
have to have goals. Yeah,
then it can become intense and it can be heavy and it can like for example with posting videos online, I planned on having my first video online already, like not the one that's not online now, but as in a peace of mind session. The planning was like way before the planning. And when I like have to make that happen, then it becomes really tense. So I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Doesn't
gotta
make
have a
any
plan
sense
to
anymore.
make it. Gotta have a plan to make it happen. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's just a belief. What if it could happen out of itself? The same way as you brushing your teeth and taking a coffee in the morning or whatever, right? Because that's the same flow. It can be like that. And it can be that you think more about things, whatever. Just let it happen.
yeah. Then you still plan, but not because you have to plan. Planning is just a natural, yeah, sequence, a natural occurrence, the flow. Yeah,
Yeah, a plan almost like implies that it needs to be accomplished. And that why I say intention is because you can
yeah,
also hold on to an intention and then, that creates tension. Holding on to an intention creates tension. But if you just have an intention and it's like, that's the intention, right? Then it's way easier. But if you work with other people, then and you have a common goal in that sense, then you want most people they, especially in business, they want to have some accountability in that sense. So then it becomes different, right? If you work with other people, and still, if you find a way to work with people who are more also into this, then you can talk about it and you can find a way together, right? Yeah, and this is all about communication, and that goes farther than this what I'm than a peace of mind session, right? Um, Yet in this between thoughts and no thoughts, do you feel the clarity that's also here?
yeah, yeah.
There's confusion.
Not, yeah, it's not reassuring me enough. Like I want reassurance from it. Like, oh yeah, we'll be
Yeah,
all right. No, nothing bad will happen.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But
still
that's just a
longing in
belief.
me. Yeah,
That's just a belief.
yeah,
What are you without that? What is there without that?
at least the willingness to, yeah,
Yeah,
take some action, to
yeah.
more motivation to choose. Yeah,
You can feel
there's
this.
just the initial motivation to choose is there without any oh yeah, but or something bad will happen.
Hmm.
I will not like it. She won't like it, so therefore I will be shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to inflict pain on the other person. I don't want to feel the pain coming from that
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Yeah, pain is just yeah, it's the label. We name it as pain. Yeah, I've talked about it earlier with Daniel before doing releases with him. Like, yeah, how without giving it a name, your tiredness or your pain, how it's just intense sensations. It's just aliveness. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
it's
It's just
aliveness.
aliveness.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a beautiful word for it, aliveness. Yeah. 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 Yes, man.
and the resistance is also yeah, it's there. It's welcome. It's yeah, can resist this already. It's yeah, that's also another sensation.
Hmm.
Hesitation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When you go again with this, with mind ping pong, you can always ask yourself the questions and you're back.
yeah. What's
And it
between
can be
thoughts
that
and
at
no
some
thoughts?
point,
Yeah,
yeah, for example, thoughts and no thoughts, right? And it can be that at some moment you don't even ask yourself anymore because it's just this. It's amazing. So, and from this, it may be way much more easy to make your choice. Yeah. And if at some point you feel like, okay, I could really use some support in this, just let me know, okay?
yeah. So I was maybe afraid of getting then regret, the regret coming after it, even though I feel like I want to make a decision. Uh, and then you make a decision, and afterwards you can get regret.
Mhm.
It's
If you're in between thoughts and no thoughts,
yeah, it's
and there's the choice that you make, then the rest is just a mind ping pong and
yeah,
bullshit. So, right? And because there can be chaos like about it, right? Don't move from that chaos, right? Here.
yeah,
And it can be from there that at some point the decision changes. And then that's that. Yeah. You got this, brother. So I'm going to round off the recording. Is there anything you feel like saying before we do or asking? Even though Q&A doesn't really make that much sense anymore because I don't know.
no, thinking already too long to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
up
yeah,
with
too.
something.
Yeah,
So then
yeah,
it will be conceptualizing just more.
yeah. And you see through it. Beautiful.
It's gonna let it sink in more, and yeah,
Yeah, this is I love this and whatever we call it because you see there's such clarity. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. So enjoy this or not, whatever.
yeah.
And I'm going to round it off.